And now let's keep it together with Molly.
Well, thanks, Gavin. Well, of course, the big news this week is that Cold Chisel have completed their final concerts ever, and they were up in Sydney. And I do think it's very sad that a group like Cold Chisel decided to call it quits. And maybe because they didn't make it in America, they didn't make it in England, but I still think they're a great group. I'm talking about great groups. There's a young group that have just emerged. Sure, Countdown gave them a bit of a push, and now I'm talking about Pseudo Echo. And what's happening now is the fact that they are in the top 10 with listening, and suddenly all the rock critics can't wait to get the knives in, which is, I think, disgusting, because they're young guys, they've got heaps of potential, and suddenly everyone wants to pull them down because they've gotten to the top 10. I remember the same case with Zoot going back in the 70s, and look what came out of Zoot. Rick Springfield and B. Birtles, who was in with LRB. Well, I mean, the critics can't always be right. Let's have a look at the UK top 5.
At number 5, one of the most underrated groups in this country, the Thompson Twins with Hold Me Now. Number 4, the group that can do no wrong, the Culture Club with Victims. Number 3, Slade, they're back on the charts with My Oh My. Number 2, not released until next year, Paul Young with Love of the Common People. And number 1 for the second week in a row, Flying Picketts with Only You.
Okay, that was the UK Top 5. Don't forget that next week is our final show for 1983. It's the Christmas special. We're not only going to show you the top 10 for that week, but we're going to show you the top 10 for the year. It's going to be a great show. Talking about things of next year, there's some great things coming up. Narara, of course, in Sydney, and of course Elton John's tour. And believe it, Culture Club are coming out in March. Now, I know the promoters won't agree with this and they won't confirm it at the moment, but believe me, they are coming out. The Rolling Stones.
Molly, on behalf of Michael Jackson and CBS Records, I would like to present this to you and to Countdown in appreciation for the support you and the show have given Michael on the Thriller album. Thank you.
Let's go to the US Top 5.
At number 5, the Americans love them, Duran Duran, Union of the Saints. Number 4, Billy Joel still dropping Uptown Girl. Number 3, the number 1 record around Australia, Lionel Ritchie, It's Gonna Be a Summer Hit, All Night Long. Number 2, a great single, they're out here in February, Hall & Oates, Say It Isn't So. And number 1, 2 of my favourites, McCartney and Jackson, Say, Say, Say.
Okay, that was the US Top 5, and before I was rudely interrupted by that weird guy across there, which was talking about Michael Jackson, and why not, because he undoubtedly is the artist of the 80s. I was talking about the Countdown special shown on Christmas Eve. Don't forget, it starts at 5:45. I was also talking about the Rolling Stones, hailed as the greatest rock and roll band in the world, and I'm not going to deny that, and boy, are they in trouble again. The reason is that their single Undercover the Night, which is roaring up the charts, has got 2 film versions. We showed a version a couple of weeks ago on Countdown, and there's another version, which is what the song is all about. It depicts the violence in El Salvador, and boy, is it rough. So, okay, we now cross to London for an exclusive interview with Mick Jagger, where he explains why the violence was used in that film clip.